Hey guys, Doug here, Spooky Villages. Happy September, everybody. Finally, the calendar turned. We are officially in the fall season now. Going to kick it off, I wanted to showcase a heavy hitter building here today. This is one of my top 3 favorite pieces of all time, building-wise. This is the Lemax Last House on the Left. So this piece was actually introduced in 2013. You know, it's kind of funny that a lot of us, we look back to the the glory days of Lemax Spooky Town. You know, the mid-2000s, when it seemed like they were just pumping out all kinds of the classic buildings. And I know people, and I do it too, sometimes, complain about sort of the lack of inspiration, or, we're just not down on some of the newer pieces as much. But the funny thing is, several of my favorite pieces of all time are actually within like the last 5 years, which is, pretty interesting. So again, this is a 2013 piece. It is still available. I do know that production has stopped on this piece, so you're going to want to get it soon. So if you're interested in it, you probably should pick it up sooner rather than later. And if you watch some of my other videos, I hate to just press it over and over again, but I love the classic haunted house. That's my favorite thing with Halloween. My favorite Halloween imagery involves the classic style haunted house. Like House on Haunted Hill. Last House on the Left is pretty much everything I want in that. There are certain buildings that I've mentioned before that are like show-off pieces, right? It's like whenever someone asks about mini villaging and what is it and everything, there's a few pieces you want to show off that like this is what it is, and so they can see, ooh, that looks awesome. And this is one of those pieces. So you've got an extravagantly lit house. It's got some of the best animation on any piece. It's whisper quiet when you run it by yourself. That's important. So there's not a lot of mechanism noises or anything like that. You can run it without the sound, and it's no problem. And it also has a killer soundtrack. I mean, it's got, pretty much by any metric, this is like tops in class to me for Lemax buildings. This was them just firing on all cylinders. You can see at the end of the video, I'll play with the sound and music on, so you can check it out that way. Yeah, so as far as like animation, on the back you have the ghosts that rotate around, and with the green lighting and everything, it just looks super eerie, like ghosts are flying around the back of the house. And then like the centerpiece animation is the rotating display in like the porch or the foyer there of the ghosts, that are in the house, and it looks completely haunted. It rotates around so it looks like the ghosts are flying. And then there's also, it syncs up with the sound, but there are flashes of lightning as well that syncs up for it. And what I also really like with the soundtrack on this, while we're talking about it, is that there's like the music and spooky sounds, but there's no one talking. So if you do just want to leave a building on for music or ambiance or whatever, you could leave this one on because there's no talking to be repetitive or anything like that. It just seems like a seamless soundtrack that just keeps playing over and over. And the speaker's fairly decent on it. I mean, it's not as good as some of the newer pieces, but it's okay. Great detail throughout the piece also. There's little skeletons as well, so in addition to the house being haunted, you've got all, them around the house. It's completely dilapidated as well. Everything's boarded up. There are holes in the top, and those holes emit light. This is a piece you could have by itself, display nothing else, and it would be a great Halloween decoration. You don't need anything else around it. It's the piece is a show in and of itself. I actually find an accessory that it matches up really well, though. Department 56 has a really cool wrought iron fence, like a spooky fence, and a gate. And you can kind of see here I've got a little scene that I have made up for it on one of my displays last year. And it with the Lemax ghost is chasing somebody. I love that. And it again, with the whole haunted house thing, the spooky gate really looks good with it. So yes, this is a 10 out of 10 piece for me. If I could go higher on the score, I would. This is again, this is a top 3 building for me. It's pretty much everything I want out of a village piece. Alright guys, well, I will stop talking. I'll see you guys soon with another review. Here it is with the sound and music.